everyone, William here. I just had another great conversation with another guest. Would you like to come in and listen in on the conversation we had? By the way, feel free to share it with anyone you feel may find it of interest. Come on, let's go listen in now.
Go through all the things. It's like, just keep going. Don't stop, right? Just keep going.
You got to find something you like to do. You don't worry about what it's going to make you.
Yeah.
You don't worry about the money.
Yeah.
Okay? You just start doing what you like to do.
Yeah.
Because when it hits the fan, you better like it or you're going to just collapse on it, right?
Yeah.
So, as an example, when you're in business, things are always going to happen. So, like, say someone was going to open up a restaurant, the first thing they should do if they've never worked in a restaurant is maybe go get a job somewhere, if it's minimum wage, whatever, work in a restaurant that they think sells the food or whatever they'd like to do, and actually do the work. Start at the bottom, do the work. See if they like that. They're going to know within a couple weeks, ooh, boy, this maybe isn't for me or whatever. But if you are willing to go and invest all this time or money to open up a restaurant, and then you start doing it and you find out, oh, I can't stand doing this. Or how come the food isn't tasting like I thought it would?
Yeah.
You know, because you don't really like the business.
Yeah.
You thought it would just make you a lot of money.
So it'll save you a lot of hassle.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, and if you do like it, and it works out for you, starting from the bottom allows you the opportunity to know some of the other functions and the obstacles in your way.
When you open your own business, you have to know how to do everything in that business. Because sooner or later, you're going to have to step in.
Someone's going to call in sick.
Yeah, somebody's not going to be there.
Yeah.
And you're going to, and if you're willing to do that and work alongside, plus it builds up the team morale.
Mm-hmm.
You'll do anything. You'll clean the toilet. You'll sweep the floor. Okay, you'll go out and serve that customer. And the biggest thing about being in business is you cannot be afraid to talk to people because they're your customers. You have to be able to engage in a customer to sell them something. A business, all a business is selling someone else something. That's all it is. And you got to find something you like to do. Because it's long days if you don't like it. I remember, and then the other thing with your customer is whatever you tell your customer, you deliver on. You just don't tell them something to make them feel good at the time, go, oh, he's off my back.
Mm-hmm.
You got to deliver on what you say.
Even if it costs you.
Even if it costs you.
Because it'll cost you more in the end if you don't do
That's
it right away.
Look at
Which is a really hard thing for some companies and people to do.
It is.
They don't see it. They think, it's going to cost me $1,000. It's going to cost you a lot more than that if you don't do it.
You look at Zellers. Constantly they would advertise merchandise. People would go in on a consistent basis and not get it. And you would just know. They see a great deal in an ad, I'm not going to even bother going in because it's not going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in one mall where there was a Zellers. I mean, amongst the people in the mall, oh yeah, well that's a good deal, but they won't have any or they'll never have enough.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to go to all this money, invest the money in an ad, like a big ad, and not have the product to back it up, then you've wasted your money. You're losing customers. Because advertising can be deadly. If you advertise something and don't deliver, the word of mouth on that is terrible.
I can give you a testimonial on that when I was trying to get equipment to set this up. Over the last 4 or 5 months, the company will remain nameless that I'm referring to, and it was online and it is a bricks and mortar as well. And I went in often to see some of the deals that they had. Out of stock, no longer available, not online, not online, not online. It was like constant. I'm like, I'm never going to shop there again. But they were always on my in my favorites. So I'd go in, I'd take a look. After 6 or 7 times, I completely give up. I'm not going to shop there anymore. I won't even go into the store because the stores have changed too. And they've lost business and it's going to... I'm not the only one. I'm just one person that it's happening to. If it's happening to me, it's happening to everybody.
A business loses people one person at a time.
Right.
So if you're willing to accept to lose one customer, that can turn into 10 because you don't realize how many times you do it. I'll give you a real good example. When I first got into business my first year, I was in the mall, there was a Midnight Madness. I decided I was going to advertise in the paper. Took out like a great big ad in the paper for Midnight Madness at Christmas time. It was this 5-roll big value gift wrap and giving it away starting at 8 o'clock for $1. I went out and bought 12 skids. Now, I didn't have the room in my little store to store 12 skids, so Midnight Madness was on Saturday. I arranged to have it delivered on Friday. So Friday about 3 o'clock, it's not there yet. So I'm on the phone to the supplier. Yeah, we shipped it. Okay, well, give me the trucking company. And I called the trucking company. Oh, yeah, we have that. We'll be delivering that on Monday. I said, but the delivery day was for today. And they said, oh, yeah, well, we got a little behind or whatever. Now, this is the winter, and it was a bad week for the roads. And they said, well, we'll get it Monday. I said, well, that's not good enough. I have to have it today, because tomorrow it's advertised in the paper for the Midnight Madness. It was advertised Friday and Saturday in the paper. And I said, I have to have that. I can't have a deal like that and not have it. What good is it to me on Monday? And he says, well, I'm sorry, it'll be Monday. So I said, okay. What can I do? Like, where is the shipment? Like, we have to work something out. That has to be here. I understand you can't deliver it. Where is the product? Is it on a truck somewhere or whatever? They said, no, it's at our docks in Kitchener. So I said, can I come and pick it up in Kitchener then? And they said, oh, okay, we'll make that arrangement for you. We close at 7 o'clock. I said, okay, fine. So get off the phone, that's fine, I'm going to go up to Kitchener. I phoned around to rent a truck, found a 5-ton truck, went over to the place, and it was in like Highway 20 and number 8. Go in there, fill out all the forms, give my credit card, everything's good and everything else, and then she goes to look for the keys. Well, there's no keys. And she says, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have a truck. I said, well, wait a minute, I phoned here. You said you had a truck. I had a truck. I don't know where it is. And so she said, just a minute. Like, I said, she'll look. No truck, sorry, can't help you. I said, well, do you have another location in town that may have it? Can you phone around? Like, I need a truck. I got to get it now. Clock is ticking now. Mm. Now it's 4 o'clock. These rental places close at 5, 6 o'clock on a Friday. So now I'm getting excited. And one thing you got to do, you have to keep your cool. Because if you lose it, you can't think. You can't come up with solutions. It's just a scramble in your brain. Okay? And you don't give up.
True enough. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So they phone their
and you frustrate the other person, and they start scrambling, and they can't think and help you.
And they can't,
nobody can help
They can't think. So I'm trying to keep everything calm, trying to keep everything down. I spent a fortune on the ad. Okay, spent a fortune on the product. Now I got to rent a truck. So I go downtown, pick up the 5-ton truck. It's a brand new truck, which is nice. I'm in there. I give them my license to sign up, do all that again. I said, just let me sign it here. Well, we got to inspect the truck. I said, the truck's fine. I'm okay. I'll sign anything. Well, no, and the guy takes me out, and I go around the front of the truck, and I'm at the door. I'm saying, this is brand new. It's fine. Let me sign it. I got to go. I'm in a hurry. Here you go. I gave him the thing, grabbed the keys, hopped in the truck, took off. Got on the main street. I'm starting to go down Main Street, and I see this guy waving behind me, waving and waving. I thought, oh, no. So I stop. What now? They had pulled the gate down, the ramp in behind to kind of show me it's open. They wanted to show me the inside and everything. And it's sparking going down the road. So he puts it up and everything. Away I go. Okay. I get up to Kitchener. It's a bit of a hassle at the docking thing. Well, we normally can't do that. And you always get names. I talked to so-and-so. He said I could. So anyway, long story short, I have to hand bomb it all on because my truck is 2 feet below the ramp.
So the truck can't even get in
so I can't pull the pallet jacks in. Now I got to unload it off the skid and load it in the truck. Wow. I said, I don't need the skids. Well, no, you got to take the skids. We don't keep the skids. So I convinced the guy to keep the skids. So Carrie and I go out. We decide, okay, that's it. We're going to go for some dinner. As it was, we got there right at 8 o'clock. I got lost in Kitchener. I wouldn't stop and ask for directions. I was going around in circles. Carrie says, oh, you got to stop at this gas station. I'll find out where it was. We get there right at 8 o'clock. I'm panicking. They're open till 11 on that hub. So anyway, but the pressure was on. But I had to be persistent to get it. So we decide to go out for dinner. Like, it doesn't end there. We have dinner. I go to pay with my credit card. Sorry, it's declined. I said, well, do that again. I mean, so how can it be declined? They try again, it's declined. So I use another card. And now I'm wondering, what is wrong with my card? So
Used it twice for trucks.
yeah, so they put these hefty deposits
Yes.
on and locked the card out. That there was still some credit available, but Visa locked it out till they could call me. So they're calling me at home.
And you're not there.
And I'm not there. Like, how come there's 2 trucks? All of a sudden the suspicion went up. Is someone going somewhere, or
Justifiably
someone got
so.
your card? So the security thing, so they lock it out until they can get a hold of the customer, which is fine. But you're kind of wondering. So anyway, we get it unloaded. Everything's fine. I got it in there. Now the store's jam-packed with this stock. I have nowhere to really put it. It's down the aisles and that. But the next morning, my main full-time girl comes in and she says, "Oh, wait till I tell you what happened to my brother-in-law." I said, "Oh, what happened to him?" "Well, he works at a truck rental place. And this a-hole comes in there and hops in the truck, starts driving down the street
No
with the
way.
ramp and the sparks
Is that
going.
right?
And she's having a big laugh. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's me." What?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
so anyway, they ended up giving me, so I told Leah the story, and then she went and told her brother-in-law, and I ended up getting some discount coupons, and
Oh,
they
very
didn't
good.
realize the pressure I was under and
Sure.
what was going on. So it all, by keeping cool, and it was tough,
Mm-hmm.
but being persistent, I got the stuff. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody was to say, "Oh, I can't get it," okay, I've lost. I mean, some people will give up then.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have this big ad and you don't have the thing you promised, and you just upset all
Mm-hmm.
these customers. So, but there's always, I got a million stories like that in business, that it's going to hit you. And
Yeah.
some months you feel like, when is it going to stop?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
No.
That's the challenges.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the difference between working for yourself or working for someone else.
Yeah.
In the big corporation, those things are happening, but they're kind of compartmentalized.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
but if you're the guy on top in charge of everything, you're seeing all these compartmentalized
Yeah.
problems
You're not
happen.
isolated from any of it.
No, and
Yeah.
you got to be able to maintain a level of professionalism, not fly off the handle. And there are people, you can go into some businesses and they just yell and scream. The old Jerry Seinfeld thing, the soup Nazi.
Oh yeah.
Okay, like
No soup for
Okay.
you. Yeah.
like in reality, you can't do that.
No.
That's a joke. And there's books out there about experiences with customers.
Sure.
I'm sure you and I could write some.
Oh, I'm sure,
You know,
yeah.
but you're always going to have a supplier issue. You're going to have a customer issue. It all comes out, and you got to like to deal with it to be in your own business.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like dealing with challenges and problems that come up, that's not the thing
No,
for you.
for sure.
And you gotta and you gotta start to love doing that. I like doing that. Okay. At first you don't like doing it, but eventually you get a knack for, okay, oh wow, okay, that's exciting. This is what keeps you going.
Yeah.
You know, and then you start talking to your peers in business, that whole whatever business. Doesn't matter what business it is, they all have the similar issues. You have a customer issue or supplier issue. It's always going to be there. Nothing runs perfect. There's no easy money. You got to work for it, and that's the working part of it. So that's why I say you got to really love what you're going to do, and you got to be prepared to do it for free.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to do it for free, you'll never make money at it.
Yeah. It's funny. Those challenges, when they come up in your personal life too, and it's a great time to practice them, and it doesn't always happen. But I remember from my own experience, Heather and I, it was I only had a Sunday. Her and I hadn't had any time off together for a long time, and we had this one Sunday off, and we had it planned a week in advance. We were just going to go get in the car, go for a nice drive. The weather said it was going to be nice. And we go down into the car and down to ground parking, go to turn the key. It doesn't start. Well, right away, it's that grieving process thing that we've talked about, right? I said, no way. And you start to go and think about all you're going to lose from this. And so we kind of looked at each other, and I just said, well, I wonder, because we have CAA, I said, I wonder who we're going to, through CAA, I wonder what the person who comes and helps me with the car today is going to be like. So I just kind of turned it around. That's all I could do was turn it around. Well, it was this young guy, really sharply dressed for coming to work on a car. Yes, Mr. Clifford, I'll get that for you. Yes, Mr. Clifford, I'll get that. He was so professional, just over the top professional. He was about 30 years old, talked about his young son. Great experience. But it was because I made a conscious decision, like you did with the truck and everything else. I better stay calm. If I don't stay calm, all this can go for nothing, and then it ruins your whole day. Why should a few moments ruin your whole day, ruin your whole business? So if you can do it a little bit in your personal life, it'll spill off into your business life. And yeah, it's that's a great story.
And it's hard.
It's hard. It's not easy
to keep a lid on it.
Yeah, but it's harder on you.
You do lose it.
For sure, but it's harder on you if you don't.
Yeah.
It's hard to maintain that mindset.
Yeah.
But if you don't, it's harder on you.
It is. Because when you go out and, like, my wife and I have worked in business together, okay, if you go out, take your frustrations out on your wife or your staff or whatever, the last thing they're thinking about is helping you with your problem.
Oh, for sure.
They want to hide from you.
That's right.
I've went through the store before and wondered, where is everybody? And they kept going down the other aisles. It's a tiny little 2,000 square foot store. They were avoiding me. Always upset. It's Christmas time. We didn't get enough of the stuff out. It's busy. It's this, it's that. Right. And I'm wondering, am I like that? But I'm putting off that vibe. So,
Sure.
So if you want everybody to be cohesive and work for you and everything else, that's where you're at the top. You got to just bite down and maybe go for a walk somewhere to cool off, but don't take it out on the people. And it's so easy to say that, but when you're in the situations, it's tough to do. And anybody who's been in business will know. I mean, that happens same when you're working for people. You know, frustrations come up, but every decision you make in your business affects your bottom line. You know, they could be small ones. You could say, oh, I don't feel like working too hard today. I'll put that off. I'll call that customer later. I'm in my own business. I've seen this a million times. Guys in their own business. Oh, I could do that later. It doesn't matter. They don't get back to the customer. All of a sudden, they lose the customer. And if you do that too many times and you're not self-motivated, and it's hard to stay self-motivated all the time. If you don't look at it like a job, if you decide, well, I'm going to float into work at 11-ish, have a 2-hour liquid lunch and siesta in the afternoon, and I'm in my own business, the money's going to stop. I remember one year we were doing really well, and I decided I'm going to golf for the summer. And the summer wasn't my busy time. I spent almost every day on the golf course and everything else. But the store suffered because product was selling out, not getting ordered in a timely manner. Oh, I could do that later. It was a real wake-up call. Then I got back on the ball, started doing it again. But, you know, you got to train your staff to be able to step in. And I ran multiple locations, and you had to really get diligent to train these staff to do it. But even though they're doing it, there was always checks and balances. You're always, maybe you're not physically doing that job, they're doing it for you, but you still got to be checking, or it just, oh, that's not that important to them, that'll go by the wayside. It just, it's a trickle-down effect.
How did you know what kind of things that you needed to order the most of?
The first thing when I was in my store, I knew the empty hooks are the things I wanted. And what was frustrating was there's no real system, okay, because I was just ordering it, and I'm not remembering what I ordered, and I'm going through order copies and what was there, and does anybody remember or whatever. I tried little labeling systems at first. Eventually, you got to know the good sellers, okay, but before you don't, everybody's sitting there thinking, oh, I don't know, I got all this stock. Well, the stock that's sitting there is not the fast sellers. The stock that's not there is the fast sellers. So in the beginning, you got to go back through your order copies. Oh yeah, I don't have any of that. So what I did is I pulled out my old order copies and started checking, is this stuff still here? And then reordering it. It's a lot of work. It's manual. This is before computers. And
when they have all these velocity multiplier systems and all this good stuff now, right?
None of that. Manual. You just manually, you went to the floor and saw what's selling. Even with a computer system, you should always walk your business, see what's selling. I mean, if you, doesn't matter what business. I go back to the restaurant business. You better check in the morning what you have in the fridge. Because if you're expecting a busy day, like say you're selling fish and chips, and you're not prepared for Friday, which is your biggest day, and you sell out, I mean, you're not selling anything. So you always have to be prepared. I mean, you might be able to skip a Monday or a Tuesday, but you got to be prepared for your busy time, know what's selling. And that's the other thing. If you don't love the business, you'll never know what your customers really want. And you got to listen to the customers. I've seen a lot of guys in business, they figure they know the right way. This is what the customer should have, and can't figure out why they don't want it, and are upset because they don't want it. Well, I did this, I made that. This is really good. It's good quality. That's a great price. You don't understand. Well, the customer understands perfectly. They don't want to pay that for that, or they don't find it to fit their need. So you can't keep doing the same thing time and time again, expecting a different result.
Right. We all know what that's a definition of, right?
Yeah. You got to keep changing.
Yeah.
You got to keep changing.
Yeah.
But there's so many businesses you go into. They start to get... When people start struggling in business, the first thing they do is they start cutting the staff, and then they're sitting in their store by themselves or in their office or whatever, and now they feel they got to do all the work. But they're sitting around, and it's not busy, so I got a TV set up. I remember going into this one business. A guy asked me to help him out. What's wrong? I walk in at his cash register. He's got a TV set up, and he's watching TV. And I said, well, what are you watching TV for? He says, oh, there's no business. I said, well, the first thing you do is get rid of that. Let's take a little walk around. And I gave him the old, what was on these empty hooks? Oh, I don't know. This stuff's not selling. I said, yeah, you don't have the stuff that's selling. The stuff that people want, you don't have.
You've already sold it.
How long are you going to sit watching TV waiting for the stuff they don't want to sell? Start marking that down, clearing it out, free up your dollars, buy your stuff. And the problem is the spiral can happen. I call it the wave. Okay? When you have your good selling stuff, you're selling it. If you're not replenishing, it's a big wave coming. Here's your cash coming. It's rolling. You're thinking, oh, this is great. It's great. You're not repeating. Then all of a sudden the wave crashes. There's nothing. Because all your expenses are the same. That's sucking away the water at that wave. Okay? And if you're not replenishing, if there's not another one rolling behind there, you're not buying the stock and keeping the rotation, and or whatever your business is, keep it rolling over and over and over. It's a circle. If you break the circle at any point, eventually your money's going to run out. And this is what happens to people. When it's running out, oh, I cut the staff, cut this, cut that. Blame it on the rent's too high. If you start looking to blame your business on things, blame everybody else. That's when you got to look in the mirror and say,
all the externals not looking at you.
yeah, what was I doing before? And for people getting into business, a lot of people say, wow, what should I get into? And this and that. And I can't come up with the invention and everything else. There is no invention. All the businesses are there. You go look and see what you like working in. And whatever you like working in, take the best of it, look at different operations, and think about how can I improve doing it. Okay, it doesn't matter what you're doing. How can I make it different?
Yeah. I've talked to several people who are in business for themselves and who are entrepreneurs, and there seems to be one thing that's consistent, and that is what they're doing, what they're selling isn't necessarily what they love. They're in the business of being in business. They just love the business.
Yeah.
Selling. They love the business. You're selling widgets A or you're selling widgets B. Doesn't matter what it is. Being in business, in the business of being in business, is what they love. I love being in business,
what you got to do is sell the products your customers want. Like I ran retail stores, right? So in my stores, I mean, I can't pick out what I like. I got to try a little bit of everything. And then you find, oh, that's selling. May not be to your taste, but it's selling. It's to the majority's taste. Who's to say who's wrong, right? All you want to do is supply what the customer wants. If you're running a car dealership and you decide to sell one style of car only and nobody likes it, you're out of business.
True.
You could love it, and if nobody else loves it, and there's so many people that get into business with too narrow a focus, too specialized. Okay, say you're convinced you like knitted mittens, and all you're going to sell is knitted mittens because you love those and you've made a few and people have bought them. But it may not be a business.
Mm-hmm.
You may love knitting those mittens, but to make a living at it, you got to look at going factory and everything else. And is it a small market or is it a big market? You got to look at what your market is.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have some good ideas, but they're just not businesses. They're not a volume thing until you get the add-ons.
Yeah. Yep. So you've done a lot of things. You've had a few businesses. You've worked in from Woolco to Woolworths to the Buck or Two and a few other stores and dollar stores and whatnot. And now you've embarked on a venture with your wife, Carrie's Party for Less. And you're over here in Stony Creek. Yeah.
Carrie's a certified balloon artist. She loves designing balloons, different things. It's things like you never see around. Balloons are big in the U.S., not so much in Canada. So we wanted to get in a business. Basically, it's the party business. But to be different, we sell the party stuff the same as everybody else, and now you can just go for price on that. I try to find unique items and all that kind of thing, keep the store interesting. But we wanted to find something that nobody did. And anybody can blow a balloon up. You can go to a dollar store anywhere, florist. But these designing and decor balloons and something like you've never seen, the wow factor they call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's whatever the term of the week is on that. But we wanted to find something that people go, wow, I've never seen that. So we kind of developed it. And so she took some lessons, seminars, courses over the years. She's a certified balloon artist. They get certified through the balloon manufacturers and things like that. There's a whole little small niche out there. But it's something that the big box couldn't take on because it's too specialized. It's like being a general practitioner doctor, but maybe you have like a side specialty of cosmetic surgeon.
Right.
And so you can do everything, but now all of a sudden you see this specialty is really starting to take off on the sales. And that's what we're finding. We still carry our basic stuff, but from a business where I used to sell products, it's gone more into these custom balloon designs at a great price. So it's working out pretty well, so we're just keep plugging away.
How do you find the importance? Do you find it important to network and to build relationships with people? And I'm pretty sure that you do. And how do you build relationships, and how effective are they in your business?
Okay, the first thing I do, usually whatever location I'm in, we're on King Street in Stony Creek. So when we moved in there, I went down the road, knocked on the doors, and introduced myself to all the owners of the businesses along there. So you start talking to them, you get to know them, what the area is like. They can tell you what your customers are like. When I used to be in the malls, I used to go see the janitorial staff before I'd lease a space in the mall. What's the dirtiest part of the mall? Sometimes it's not what you think is the prime location, this entrance off the beaten path where you can get a low-cost rent. That's where everybody's coming in, the bus routes there or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to talk to everybody and find out the information. But I always talk to people in business anywhere. You should get to know them because you can draw on each other. You can, you support them, they support you. And then their word of mouth and their word of mouth. So the best thing about a business, I go over and talk to the guy in the restaurant business. Well, gee, I have a lot of clients that might be interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
Right away. You don't have to do any marketing, nothing. You've networked, and all of a sudden you get a little spin-off.
Mm-hmm.
So it works out great. The hairdressers.
Sure.
Okay. Now they're chatting. Oh, yeah, you're having a birthday party? You should go see Carrie over at Carrie's Party for Less across the road. Oh, is there a party store there? Yeah.
Right.
So that helps when you talk and network to people.
Yeah. I remember you telling me about a relationship that you built with a business owner across from the mall from you, and he was a bit of a security guard for you. You ended up watching security for one another.
Oh, right, yeah.
He could tell you the things that were going on, right? So you kind of watch over each other if you've built a healthy relationship.
He had a key shop right across the aisle from the mall, and he was always there, one-man operation from open to close. And he would watch my staff at night, and he would tell me who the good staff are, and he would tell me who slacks off when I go. And it's funny, it's always the people when you're there that they seem really busy and they talk to you and they're all up front, and then all of a sudden you go and it's nothing. There's the steady ones that don't make a show of anything.
Right.
They go along. But he caught staff stealing. He said, oh, this girl's loading up the bags of stuff before they go out. Her boyfriend comes in the store. And I had rules. When you locked up the store, only staff are in the store closing. No friends or family. They could wait in the mall. And then you come out when you're done. But yeah, that was great. But I got to know him. Okay, I supported his business. He supported mine. He had to go down the mall for lunch or whatever. We'd watch his store. You know, just say he'd be back in a couple minutes. He'd be right back. I mean, we didn't have to cut keys or sell things for him. It's just customers like to know, oh, he is, okay, that's fine. So, yeah, if you know the people around you, then they'll keep an eye out for you. And vice versa, you keep an eye out for them.
So do you see any opportunities in the future for you coming up with developing, building your business at all?
Yeah, we continually try different products, keep changing, looking at locations that are busier. So, yeah, there's always, I'm keeping an eye out. I'm in this mode right now where I'm, you know, I've been go for a lot of years. I'm kind of wanting to, you know, take it easy on one point, but on another point, that competitiveness gets in you. And, you know, when you have a business, you always want to improve it. You always want to see how you could make more.
Well, the business of business is fun for you, so it's hard not to have fun.
Yeah, it's my
That's what
hobby.
You enjoy that
it.
as much as golf, really, right?
That's right. I can do it. It's not a chore for me. It's just having fun. Always on the lookout for a new business or things that are happening, but it's just in there. I mean, you know, it never used to be. You know, when I started out, like, it was pretty scary starting out. You know, when we opened up our first store and we're standing at the front, we looked at each other and wondered, what did we do? I mean, the setup was fun, everything was good, and now, okay, now you got to have the customers. So, yeah, so it's challenging, but there's always something going on. Yeah.
Good. Well, it's good. Thanks a lot for coming out and sharing it with me.
Thanks for having me,
appreciate you showing
Bill.
up and coming into my little studio and having a chat with me.
No, it's great.
We'll do it again.
Fun. Absolutely.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Join us. Catch the bug.